Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, once again, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a chilly but nice Friday afternoon, May the 22nd, 2026, Memorial Day weekend. Oh, yeah! We are here, ladies and gentlemen, Memorial Day weekend, 2026. Thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. Ooh, give that elbow. Yeah. That rolling elbow. Bam. My good buddy JT Dunn. Good man. But thank you for watching right here on Killer of Demons 669. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Share the video all over the internet. Leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, now, and in the future coming in on my respective channels. But don't leave stupid comments because you'll get hit with a roaring elbow, sent to the shadow realm, and then beaten severely again, and Ozzy and Satan will come out and laugh at you and then eat your soul. So don't do it. Go somewhere else and do that shit. Because I ain't gonna do it on my channel. If you don't like getting blocked, then don't cry, bitch. And that's pretty much it. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Basically, beat it. Bam! You know, beat it like a... Do that. That's what you have to do. Do this to the bell. Bam! Because I'll do it to your face. If you get in my way. But I digress. But tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you're going to get hit with a whole bunch of rolling elbows. You know, these. Until you're unconscious, and then when you reach consciousness, I'm going to make you hit the bell anyway. Because if you don't, that's what's going to happen, and then you're SOL. You know what that means by now. I think we all know. If you don't know, now you know. That's pretty much it. Alright, so once again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good shit. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Grab that tasty cold one, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. And if you like it, great. If you don't, then get out of here and do something with your life. Do something! Do something! Just do something. God damn it. It's your life. Do something. But I digress on that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, enough about the funny shit. Because that's pretty much it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it is Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial start of summer. Beaches will open tomorrow, I believe, across the United States and Florida. Well, usually if you're in Florida, well, really California and Arizona and the West Coast, you're pretty much open all year because it's warm most of the time. But Florida and the East Coast, you gotta wait a little bit for the water to get warm. So, but it is the unofficial start of summer. The beaches will be open along the East Coast. Not going to be great weather to go to the beach, except if you want to go. Well, I can't go today because they're not really open. I mean, you can go on the beach. You can't go in the water yet. But tomorrow you could if it was nice and toasty. But you know, here in the Northeast, chilly today. Actually, not too bad today. Tomorrow and Sunday, gonna be chilly, raining. I mean, tomorrow and Sunday gonna be raining all day. Not good. Not a good Memorial Day weekend here in New York City, but yeah, gotta make the most of it. So at least Monday and Memorial Day won't be that bad. The rain will be gone, and then you know, kind of be up and down with the temperatures in the 60s and low 70s. So we're gonna get back to those 80s and 90s hopefully in the next couple weeks, next 3-4 weeks. So as summer will be officially starting in about a month from now, so just wait it out, tranquilo. Wait it out. The summer will be here in about a month from now, so can't wait for that. But those 90s we had here in New York City, Tuesday and Wednesday, felt pretty good, huh? Little preview, if you will. Well, that's good. That's good. All right, we got SmackDown coming your way tonight. Should be a pretty good show. We got Jade Cargill going to open the show, possibly talking to Mommy Rhea Ripley. And this is the official go-home show before tomorrow night's Saturday night's main event. from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio on Monday for Memorial Day Raw with Rowan, of course, and Jacob. Before we go to Italy, we're going to go to Spain, then Italy, because our SmackDown is preempted next week because it's in Spain. So if you have a VPN, you get to watch it, I think, at 2 or 3 p.m. I don't know I think it's around 2, 3 p.m., somewhere around that time. But, for us here in the States, we have to get the tape delay at 8 p.m. But I'm going to watch it at 2. Because I got a VPN. And you don't. But we got that. And then Raw, June 1st, live at 2 p.m. Live. So if you're at work, you probably miss it. But it is what it is. I have a half day that day, so I'm gonna watch most of it. But I do have to go out like around 3:15. I have to go out, so I'm gonna watch at least the first hour, and then I'll watch the rest of it when I come home later that day. But we got that. But going overseas for Raw and SmackDown, and then I'm going to London later in June for Raw. I think it's SmackDown too, but we'll see. But good stuff coming your way. We got Double or Nothing on Sunday night. Hopefully, because the rain. Like I said, I don't know if Louis Armstrong Stadium has a roof. I hope it does, because if not, we might have problems. Because it's going to be raining on and off. I think pretty much raining a lot tomorrow into most of Sunday. So hopefully we don't get a delay for Double or Nothing. But price you pay for doing an outside stadium. But like I said, we'll see what happens with that. But tonight we got SmackDown, and then tomorrow we got Saturday's main event, and Sunday we got Double or Nothing, and then Monday the final Raw in the States for about a week or so, a couple weeks actually, because I'm in France as well, June the 8th. And I think the following SmackDowns are going to be in, I think it's 3 SmackDowns we got overseas. Next Friday and 2 Fridays after that. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But ladies and gentlemen, on your Friday afternoon, May the 22nd, hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend. And that's that. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your late and out-of-date TNA Impact Wrestling, and Ring of Honor reviews for last night, May the 21st, 2026. Alright, Impact coming off the live show last week, pretty much going forward, and on the road to Slammiversary, coming up in about a month from now. Ring of Honor coming out of Supercard still, going on the road to, I don't know where. We're on the road somewhere. But we got that. Alright, as always, we started with the better show, and that's Impact Wrestling. And we are emanating from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. We start the Sacramento tapings again. Actually, we had the live show. Now we start some of the tape shows. So we're from the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium in Sacktown, Sacramento, California. A great city. Not that great, but great. Not as great as San Francisco. Oh, I'm sorry. We move on. I've been to Sacktown. Not a great place to go, but, LA and San Fran. Picture perfect. Because they love me there. It is what it is. Great beaches, by the way. And we move on. Alright, so our commentary team, as always, Tom Phillips and Aiden English, Matthew Waywell, he loves Rusev Day! We get that. Alright. So we started off, the show was pretty good. We had Mike Santana defending the TNA belt against an old friend of his, and that's Steve Macklin, the rematch from, I think, Rebellion, when Steve Macklin had that horrible injury, that little scary injury. So we're doing it again for the TNA title, and the winner will get Eric Young at Slammiversary. We got Cedric Alexander with his little celebration, since he stopped Leon Slater from being the longest reigning X Division champion. So we're going to hear from him and the system, and some knockouts action, and some other good things on Impact. So we start off with the opening sequence. Get you ready to open the show. And then we start the show off properly with the system. Eddie Edwards, his wife, Alicia Edwards. Do you want to know something? No, I don't. I really don't. Your voice is annoying. No, I'm kidding. She's a nice lady. I met her and Eddie 2 months ago, actually, at an indie show. She didn't say that, thankfully. Oh, jeez. I'm like, I don't care. But she's a nice lady. Alicia's a beautiful woman, and Eddie, you lucky bastard. That's all I gotta say about that. So the Edwards are there, along with Mophead, Bear Bronson, and Brian Myers, the tag team champions, and Cedric Alexander, the new X Division champion. So Eddie Edwards gets on the mic, brags about the team's success, says Cedric got them one step closer to holding all the gold, and eventually he's coming back for the world title and Mike Santana. And then Brian Myers, got all pissed off because the fans don't like the group. Well, probably don't like you, but I guess. And then Mophead, Bear Bronson, promises that anyone who comes after them will be eaten alive. That's not a good visual, especially for a guy like him. I'm sorry. The son of a bitch is fucking fat. Yeah, I'll make him bleed. I know, I'll make him bleed. Don't worry. Okay, Scott, calm down, please. Thank you. Can you get him a Snickers? Scott, eat the goddamn Snickers and be quiet. Okay, you good? Good. Scott! Eat it! Eat the Snickers! Stop it! I'm sorry. I can't control Scott Steiner sometimes. I'm sorry. Anyway. Alright, so Cedric is on the mic. Says he became the record taker. Don't you dare say anything about The Undertaker to Cedric. Anyway. He says he became the record taker last week, and if Fabian Aichner, Giovanni Vinci, has something to say about it, you can come out and say it in my face. And Cedric, you need to calm down. Seriously, dude. You're gonna blow out your voice. Have anybody noticed that? He's like, I'm the greatest! I'm like, dude, you're about to lose your voice every time you're doing a promo. I'm like, calm down. I know you're a heel, but calm down. Shit. You've been coming out doing a promo next week. I can't talk. I wonder why you can't talk. Just calm down. Anyway, so Fabian Aichner comes out, says, I was out here to introduce myself at the end of, near the end of last week's show after we saw Moose get his ass handed to him by probably the system. So he wanted to introduce himself last week. He knows he's a future TNA champion, and that X Division title looks pretty damn nice. So I think it was, Bear Bronson or Brian Myers just went right after him. Not a good idea, because Fabian Aichner takes them all out. Then he goes in the ring, and he has a fight with Cedric. He hits this, weird flip move into a crossface. That was pretty nice. And Cedric's like, ah! He's scrambling to get out of the ring. Eventually, the system helped him out. So, alright, I guess we're going to see Fabian Aichner and Cedric go at it for the X Division title. Leon has a rematch coming up. We'll see. There will be an Ultimate X match at Slammiversary, and all the titles on the line. So, yeah, Cedric, you're going to have to defend that belt against maybe Fabian Aichner, maybe Leon and Ultimate X. That would be epic, by the way. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, first segment, 3.25 out of 5 stars, and we're off and running on TNA Impact Wrestling. Yep. Oh, we got that. Alright, then we go to the suit. Ugh, this chick. Daria Ray, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Diarrhea Daria. If you watched MTV, you know. Daria Ray, I'm going to have a problem saying her name. Sonya Deville. Let's just say it like that. So Sonya Deville gives Steve Macklin a pep talk, and he says absolutely nothing. He just stares, and he's just staring. We see him on the side, and he is excuse me, stone face. He's like in a trance. He's staring a hole right into you. I'm like, holy shit. Say something! Hello? McFly! Anyway. Alright, so we got that. And then, just, basically hyping herself up as the suit. But boy, is she annoying. That's what it is. Alright, then we get to our first match of the night. We got the knockouts in action and two beautiful ladies. We got Cora Jade, Elena Black taking on Indy Hartwell. But before we get that, we have Stacks Mahomes and his hot wife, you lucky bastard. And that's the former Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace. They're on commentary. Well, Stacks is sitting down and Ariana's sitting on his lap, making his dick hard. Oh, I wish it was me. Should have been me. It should have been me. I know. So, decent match, kind of corny ending. So, Elena gets shoved out of the corner to start. Indy boots her right in her pretty face. Then another one to the side of the head gets a near fall. But Elena shoves Indy off the top rope for a big crash. Almost right in front of Ariana Grace. Then back in, and Elena Black knees Indy in the back out for a near fall. Followed by a running knee for another near fall. 1905 chinlock. Didn't last that long. Indy fights up and hits a spine buster. And then she goes up top, and then Ariana Grace gets off Stacks' dick, and pretty much shoves her down right in front of the referee. I'm like, oh, really? So, DQ finish. So, Indy wins by DQ. 4-minute match. Wasn't great. That's what it is. 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Then after the match, Ariana throws Indy outside and then gets on the mic, starts ranting about her dad. Uh-oh. And then Daddy, no, not Tiffany Stratton's daddy, but, Daddy, no, that's other daddy. But, Santino Molella, you son of a gun! He comes out to interrupt, says, that wasn't very cool. Well, not like Cordito, because Cordito spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Let me get that. So he says, that wasn't cool, what you just did to Indy. Starts yelling at his son-in-law, Stacks. He's like, get in here, old man, I'll kick your ass. So, Santino goes to the ring, and Stacks is like shoving him a little bit. So, Santino's like, alright, that's it. Goes inside his jacket, takes out the Cobra! It's all loaded up, and then Daria Ray comes out. I'm like, oh, what do you got to say now? Then she says, shut up, I'm talking. Her little catchphrase, because she's the suit of all, as we all know. So she brings up her own past in MMA. Okay. And then tells everyone to get out of my ring. It's not your ring. You don't own it. Carlos owns that ring. He's paying your little salary. Just saying. With his so-called healing hands. Just saying. We get that. We move on. Alright, so that whole thing, 2.25 out of 5 stars. Yeah, whatever. Alright, then we get to something a little bit better, but it ended very nicely. We got the Elegance brand, the women's knockouts tag team champions. We got Em and Heather by Elegance and Mr. Elegance, Team Jack Perry, and George the Iceman, Team Nigel McGuinness. They're planning for Ash by Elegance, her return, since they're talking about, she got surgery to look better. Maybe she was in Australia. I think defending her title. She won the WSW women's title, I think, something like that. Who cares? Then the lights go out. Somebody forgot to pay the bill. Or Sabu! No, Sabu, you didn't go anywhere, did you? No, you were. Oh, you're over there. Stay there. Don't move. Right, Sabu didn't come out. But the lights go out, they come back on, and then we see a message on the mirror in red, obviously red lipstick. and it says, "See you soon," from the prophecy, the undead realm of my girl, Rosemary, my demon assassin, my demon bride, the co-founder, and legit partner of the prophecy. She's, me and her, we're raking in that money. Along with Ali the Bunny and Mara Shade. And, yeah, they're gonna see them very, very soon. Can you say at Slammiversary? Oh, your title's coming home to the prophecy. So, as Bray Wyatt would say, Bray, can I say it? Thank you. So, to the Elegance brand, I got one word for you. Run! That's it. Because the prophecy, the undead realm, are going to be your nightmare come true. So, don't be scared, little pretty ladies, because we don't like pretty. Dirty pretty? No, it's in this moment. Oh, I can't wait for next Friday. New music video. It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen, since a new music video from In This Moment. Sleeping with the Enemy comes out next Friday at 12 p.m., I believe. So, check out Maria's YouTube and the official In This Moment YouTube for anything that might come up. But they have some teasers, which are great. The video, actually, I've seen more clips than we haven't seen yet. The video looks amazing. Purge Part 2? I'm telling you, that video does not get over 3 million like the Purge video got in its first week. We got problems. Not major problems, but, you know. But it's going to get a lot of views next week. I guarantee at least over 1 million in the first 24 hours. At least 1 million. If not more. We'll see. But next week, fire up your YouTube. Get your ears ready to bleed and have your face melted. Sleeping with the Enemy by In This Moment. Off their forthcoming 9th album. I think, 9. Then I think it's the 9th album. So you think about it. I'm not gonna name. I can name them all, but too much time. But is there new album coming out? I don't know when, and then we don't have a name for it yet. New logos, by the way. I love it. If you go to my Metal Guy channel, I have a new profile picture, new avatar, basically, which is the new lettering for In This Moment. And I might be getting the new shirt pretty soon. We'll see how it goes by the time we hit the summer. And, well, before the summer ends, I might get a new In This Moment shirt. So, I got that. I got a cough drop in my mouth because I do have a little slight cold. But it came back, yeah. We move on. Alright, so we'll see what happens with the Elegance brand and the Undead Realm, the Prophecy, next week. That's that. Alright, back to the ring we go with the men, and we have Vincent from the Righteous, along with Dutch. He takes on, well, it's supposed to be Matt Hardy, but it's not Matt, it's Broken Matt Hardy, yes! Wonderful! Did it! He comes out with, Brother Nito, I knew you'd come! Jeff Hardy, dude. Alright. So this was a unique type of match. Dutch and Jeff Hardy, or Brother Nito, were handcuffed to opposite sides of the ring. So they can't get involved, obviously. So we get that. And the match was kind of brutal. Soso with Matt avoiding a charge in the corner. Dutch then grabbed him by the leg. We go to break. Obviously not a DQ. So we come back from break. Matt strikes away into a double clothesline for a double down. And then Broken Matt Hardy pops up, sends Vince into the corner over and over and over again. Powerbomb out of the corner, plants Vincent, who starts untying his boot. What, do you got an itch? I don't know. Big swing of doom. Miss Matt. And then he starts biting his foot. Ew. We got a biter! He's biting his foot. Ew. Maybe he had too much toe jam. I don't know. Anyway. And then Dutch. Also distraction. Vincent gets in a running shot to face with his other leg. Matt comes back. Tries to go for the twist of fate. That gets countered. Then we get a rep bump. We knew that was going to happen. Vincent with a belly-to-back suplex on Matt. Then he steals the key from the referee's back pocket. And he's about to, I think he was about to release Dutch, basically unlock the custom Dutch. Then the lights go out again. Are you playing mind games up there, Terry Sabu? No, he's not playing. This time, the lights come on. We have Willow! I can't even do his laugh. But Willow, Jeff Hardy's alter ego next to Brother Nito. But Willow the Wisp is back. Hits Vincent with his umbrella. His umbrella. Ella, eh. So he hits it with the umbrella. Then Broken Matt Hardy with a twist of fate. 1, 2, 3 in exactly 11.5 minutes. The Broken Matt Hardy gets the win thanks to Willow. But I'm like, wait a minute, where did Jeff go? Where's Jeff? Did Willow, kidnap him and, Jeff's probably somewhere in the back. I don't know where he went. So we got that. So yeah, Willow using the umbrella thinking he's Marty Skull. Whoop, whoop! No, I miss him. I know he did what he did. That whole, Me Too shit. Where pretty much everybody got blacklisted. Michael Elgin, Joey Ryan, Marty Skull, for pedophilia type shit. Even Rude Boy Riley here in New York. He gone. He definitely gone. That guy, he was a big name here in the New York City wrestling scene. Former champion in 2 different companies, and then found out he was a pedophile. Good night. Bye. You're out of here. So much for your push. Oh well. But yeah, now that whole thing with Elgin and Marty Skull, Joey Ryan, they haven't come back at all. I know Marty does indie shows, but he's not, the Marty we used to know. I mean, he still does his gimmick, but, no major companies want him. So he's, in England and Germany and different countries, but I don't even think WWE or AEW want him for what he did, 7 years ago, whatever it was. Elgin, I think, came back to wrestling, even though he had that whole thing where he, the fucking idiot that he is, beating up his wife, Misfit. Then that whole situation, he got kicked out of Ring of Honor. Former champion, and who beat him? Adam Cole. I think it was Adam Cole or Jay Briscoe beat him, but he hasn't come back. He hasn't been the same since. Joey Ryan, stunk in TNA. He stunk in TNA. He was great in PWG, former PWG Tag Team Champion with Candice. Remember that? Yeah, I think we all remember that match in PWG, the Guerrilla Warfare match with the Bucks, and how Candice was gushing blood. I mean, her period just came all over her face, basically. They still won the tag team titles. I mean, Candice LeRae, in the indie version of Candice LeRae, whew, she went to war, man. Against the Bucks. Remember that video where she got lumbar checked almost out the ring? And everyone's like, oh my god, Cedric killed her! Cedric Alexander. I still have that on one of my favorites. It is just insane how Cedric, hit that move on her. She went, boing! Holy god, whoa! And she lived to tell about it. I actually talked to her about it at a Evolve show, what that was. when Evolve, before the change over to WWE Evolve. Not a great show, by the way, but same night I met Ciampa and Gargano. I took a picture with Johnny Gargano, so because I didn't have enough money for all three of them, so. But I got Ciampa's picture in Ring of Honor, and sadly I didn't get Candice, but it's what it is. It's always another time. Alright, so we got that. So Broken Matt Hardy gets the win over Vincent, and we'll see what happens with the Hardys and the Righteous as we move on. Decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, Flop Dollar, AJ Francis comes up, and we see Elijah playing his guitar, his electric twanger. Well, actually, it's acoustic twanger. That's a guitar for you dumb people at home. So, Elijah, who wants to walk with Elijah? I do. So, he applauds his guitar playing, and he wants to collab with him. Not like a tag team partner. He wants to, do the whole country rock thing, which is kind of hip now. Not really. It kind of worked with Post Malone and Ozzy. Yeah. Jelly Roll kind of works a little bit, but anything else kind of sucks. But I digress. So Elijah declines that. AJ Francis says, you're gonna regret that. That's it. Elijah's like, I don't give a shit. So I guess we're going to get an AJ Francis-Elijah feud coming up now. Nobody cares. We got that. So, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we go to Santino Marella. He announces a pair of upcoming Champions challenges next week. Champions versus challenges, obviously. Then we got an all-star match with the champions versus the challengers. We're going to find out who's going to be the captains for that. And see what happens with that. And then Daria Ray comes in and says, you will take on your son-in-law next week. And Santino's like, yes! Is he going to win? Probably not, but we'll see. Then the System come in, and they're pissed at what happened in the first segment. Eddie Edwards requests and gets a match next week with Fabian Aichner. Interesting. Alright, so we'll get that. We move on with that. Now, is Fabian Aichner going to be a big star in TNA? Maybe. Maybe not. I'm glad he went back to Fabian Aichner and not Giovanni Vinci, I never liked that name. I didn't like it at all when he changed gimmicks, when he went to the main roster. It was just so corny. He would just come out, had that Vinny Vinci type thing. He just comes out, does a pose, and then, flashes, and, stops, 3 times. It was just a weird, dumb gimmick. Didn't do great in NXT there either, so he gone, now he's back with TNA. We'll see what happens with that. Carlos and company, Tommy Dreamer and company, the booking team can book him correctly. Next stop, AEW, most likely. If he doesn't work out, we got that. Alright, so give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to a great match for the Intercontinental title. Mustafa Ali and Order 4. They all come out. Agent Zero, Skylar and Hawks, the Great Hands, and the Puerto Rican princess, no, not Issa, but the other one, and that's Tasha Steelz, looking hot as always. They come out, and Mustafa Ali defends the Intercontinental title against Starboy Charlie, or Chaz Hall, his NXT given name, Evolve given name, stupid name, but Starboy Charlie, and boy did he give Ali fits, and he almost took him to the limit. It was a 5-minute match, basically, but I think he found a home now in TNA. And if NXT Evolve don't work out, go to TNA, be in the X Division, or the IC Division. So anyway, they run the ropes to start, trade leg sweeps, sweep the leg down your son. They do that, Ali sends him into the corner, Starboy Charlie knocks him away and hits a springboard wrist drag, nice, which sets up a running flippy doo to the floor. And then they go back in the ring, And then Mustafa Ali with a Giddy Kata! Bang! For a near fall. For taking Starboy Charlie up top. Goes for a super! And they says, hey, Chico, something happened to this, something happened to you, Chico. Well, Mustafa Ali, you're not, Scott Hall. So that gets counted into a super Hurricane Rana. Then a standing corkscrew moonsault for an air fall. Goes for slice bread number 2. That gets broken up. And then Mustafa Ali grabs a 1922 backslide, but flips forward into a inside cradle. 1, 2, 3. He retains the IC title in pretty much under 5 minutes. Good match though. 3.25 out of 5 stars. It was great. See what happens with Starboy Charlie from here. Probably just be stuck on Evolve. Maybe a little bit up. Maybe we'll see him on NXT. Yeah, we'll see. He's good. If you've seen his indie work, good shit. The guy is amazing. Kind of reminds me of some guy, but the face area, but I can't think of it right now. Well, no. Alright, so we move on. Alright, then we're in the back. Mara Shade meets up with actor Keith Jardine. We saw him last week, where him and I think it was Eddie Edwards. I think it was Eddie Edwards or Mr. Elegance got involved. So he agrees that next week he will be in her corner to face, I think, Mr. Elegance. I'm like, I care, but alright, we got that. 2.25 out of 5 stars. Let's move on. Alright, then we have, once again, zombified Steve Macklin. He's still sitting down, like looking, like staring a hole into your soul. And then this guy comes in, Eric freaking Young, EY, Grandpa Eric Young, and talks about giving him an opportunity to Steve Macklin. And Macklin has to make the biggest choice of his life. Okay. What are you gonna do if he doesn't make the biggest choice of his life, there, Eric? You're gonna tell him he's gonna be cleansed? How long have you been talking about the fucking cleanse, Eric? Been almost a year now. What is it? Did we just forget about it? Like we forget about most things in wrestling? There should be a dark side of the ring. Whatever happened to all these storylines that never came to fruition, never finished? Like, who attacked Jacob Fatu? Who attacked Jey Uso? Who hit Kevin Steen with the pie? All these storylines that never, finished. There should be a Dark Side of the Ring episode. Then we'll find out, oh, this happened. It was supposed to be this person. Like Tiffany Stratton's daddy was supposed to be, some guy. Never found out who her daddy was. Never found out about that. Remember when Kiana James was kind of having that love thing with what's his name, Brooks Jensen, the Virgin, and then Kiana had some guy named Sebastian give her flowers and stuff. We never knew who Sebastian was. It was just some guy named Sebastian. Who is he? I don't know. Some figment of our imagination. Why can't they finish these storylines? Ali was supposed to have a hacker gimmick. Remember all those stupid things with Ali? Where he looked like a fucking transformer, or really a teamer version of Iron Man with the thing around, that big circle thing, and which flashed. That didn't materialize because Ali got released after that. They did all the vignettes and then he gets released. That was a waste. And at first I thought it was Sami Callihan. Remember when Sami Callihan was Solomon Crow back in NXT and how long that lasted? That was a waste. Bringing in Sami fucking Callihan, the man that he is, from CCW and a few indies, PWG. Well, that match with Adam Cole. Adam Cole remembers it. I asked Sammy at an indie show about it. He says, I still can't get over that match with you and Adam Cole with the whole dog shit thing. I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of crazy. I'm like, yeah, you think? You know, Sammy, I don't know where he is now. He was in TNA. I think it was in TNA. Then he kind of left. So I think I don't know if he didn't retire. I don't think, but we haven't seen him in a while. I keep thinking of Mance Warner, but Mance Warner's in Ring of Honor right now. Stephanie Delander's like winning titles on the indie circuit. Are we going to see Stephanie Delander in AEW or TNA? I'm not TNA. AEW or Ring of Honor? I don't know. Mance is there. He had a couple of matches. He lost one. He lost, I think, 1 or 2. That's nice. You bring him in. Loses. Great. A guy like Mance Warner should not be losing, especially in Ring of Honor, where he'll just annihilate people in Ring of Honor. But maybe it's best to just stick with GCW. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he was with TNA, and then, him and Stephanie left TNA. They still did their indie work with GCW, which I think they still kind of do, but he stopped. And now, Mance is in, he went to Ring of Honor for a couple of the tapings. Stephanie doing indie work, winning titles. Well, great for her, but what's going to happen to them? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Sami Callihan if we got to see him again. We'll just randomly see him at a house show or an indie show. I'm like, hey, what have you been doing? Oh, nothing. Pfft. I mean, you're too good to be not on TV. He's getting up there in age, too, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so we'll see what happens with EY and Macklin, and that's that. But Macklin needs to, get out of the trance. That's that. 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, back to the ring with more knockouts action. We got Xia Brookside taking on Jada Stone. Little Jada Stone. 7-minute match. Xia Brookside comes out. She's pretty pissed. What happened last week with Xia Li, the TNA Knockouts champion. I think they're going to tussle at Summerversary. I think Xia Brookside's going to become the new champ. I mean, we'll see. Alright, so Jada then sends her into the corner. Actually, she gets back into the corner. And then Jada rolls her up. And Xia goes outside for a quick breather. But she didn't expect that. Back in the ring, threat of a leg lock sends Jada over to the ropes for a little break. Comes back up with a wrist lock, circa 1901. And then she knocks Xia Brookside down. But took too long going up top. Xia Brookside goes back to the leg. And ties that leg up, cranks on it, aye! And so, she ties it up in the corner even more. Jada somehow fights back, gets in a kick to the face, sets up a split-legged moonsault for a near fall. Goes for a handspring elbow, that gets cut off with a kick to that bad leg. And then Xia Brookside hits the dark side, which is the implant DDT. 1, 2, 3, she gets the win in a smidge over 7 minutes. That's pretty much it. So Xia Brookside uses the dark side of the Force. Basically. Strike me down, Skywalker, and your ascent to the dark side will be complete. Always never doubt the Emperor. Or Palpatine, too. We move on with that. Alright, match was premiere. 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we have Mike Santana, and now he's out of his coma. Steve Macklin jaw-jacking each other, almost going at it. Security has to break it up. Good luck with that. We get that. Alright, then we get a promo from Stax and his wife, Ariana Grace. They're ready for Santino Balada next week. So, quick and to the point. There you go. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. 2.5 out of 5 stars for the little brawl in the back between Steve Macklin and Mike Santana. And that's pretty much it. Alright, then we go to your main event of Impact for the TNA World title. Steve Macklin, Mike Santana 2, Electric Boogaloo. This went a little over 17.5 minutes, was pretty damn good. They slug it out the start. Macklin blocks a super kick. which pretty much knocked him out of sacrifice. I thought it was at rebellion. It was sacrifice. Sorry about that. Anyway. So, and this dropkick puts Santana down, but he's right back up with a belter-back face plant. Ow. Macklin goes outside, gets taken out by a flippy doo-ba-doo-doo, but he's able to send Mike Santana into the ring post. Ow. For a little breather. He loads up a table, which is not a Slim Jim table. Saboteur Slim Jim! Ooh, yeah! Get! Okay. Thank you for the plug there, Randy. Moving on. Santana seems to tweak his knee. Uh-oh. You don't want injuries when you're the champ. But that's fine with Steve Macklin, who scores with a chop block. Worse than that little tweak. Puts him down as we go to break. Come back. Santana reverses a figure 4 leg lock, sending Macklin over the ropes. And then Macklin dives into a Death Valley driver. Ouch. And for a double down, they get back up. Jumping Insagiri rocks Steve Macklin in the corner. And then Santana goes for the rolling buck 50. That gets blocked. And Santana gets put in the tree of woo. But he escaped. And now he hits the rolling buck 50 for a near fall. Spinning powerbomb gives him another near fall. And then he tries to spin the block. He gets counted into a Michinoku driver for a near fall from Macklin. Then he hits a spear in the corner in the tree of woo for another near fall. They go up top. Santana drops down to the apron, kicks Macklin through the table. Damn. Then a frog splash and almost Eddie Galero for like frog splash for a near fall. Did you like that one, Eddie? You're so late. I have nothing to say. Okay. Happy Memorial Day weekend there, Eddie. I know you don't celebrate the holiday, but, you know. No, I'm going to have fun anyway with China this weekend. We're going to go to a party and everything. We're going to drink some sangria, and then, you know, stuff happens, you know. Be safe and wrap up that burrito. I always do. I like cheat and steal. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Make sure, is Mikey going to be there too? I don't know what I say. I don't know. I have to ask him. Mike! What? Get in here. What? Eddie says he's going to a party. You going to be there? I might go. I don't know. I'm not really doing anything. I might just show up and hang out. There's going to be some fat ladies there, I say. Ooh, fat ladies. I like them. I might be there. I'm going to hang out with you, Eddie. Because you're a cool guy. Not as cool as Mr. Joseph, but he's cool. But you're cool too. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, S.A. Pedro. Okay. I didn't know you guys could get along. Well, I respect him and all, but, you know, he's not as awesome as me, but, you know. Okay. Sorry, Eddie, you know. It's okay, you know. I kick his ass later. No. Hey, you're not gonna kick my ass. I'll put you through a table, S.A. Okay, Mike, calm down, please. Calm down. Guys, not now. Do it later. Mike, just behave, okay? Nah, I'm sorry. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go back to the bar. I gotta fix up some things. What happened at the bar? Jerome threw up. What else is new? That motherfucker. Alright, you wanna say goodbye, Mike? Mike, say goodbye. Bye! Okay, get out of here. Eddie, you wanna say goodbye? Adios, sissy! Thank you. I love my impressions. They're so cool. If you don't like it, kick your ass! Okay. Thank you, Mike. We know. Thank you. Anyway. Where are we? I don't know. Alright, so Santana drops down to the apron, kicks Steve Macklin through the table, and then a frog splash for a near fall. And then Macklin gets up, and then he collapses right before spin the block. I'm like, uh-oh. Are we gonna get this again? But I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen this movie before. It was all a ruse. He was playing possum. He connects with a super kick of his own. And then they're fighting. They're going back and forth. Santana's back. Comes back with a jumping clothesline. Right into spin the block. 1, 2, 3 to retain the TNA title. In a smidge over 17.5 minutes. It was good. Good match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's that. And there goes the Ice Cream Man. You can hear it, right? Now. You can probably hear it. Well, okay, you can't hear it. Give it the little jingle from Mr. Softy. You know. Would you like a cockroach? Oh, liquid shit coming on up. W250. No? You probably didn't hear most of it, but whatever. Alright, moving on. Alright, so Santana retains the TNA title. Good match, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And really nothing after that. I thought there was gonna be like an extra scene or extra segment or something like that before we end the show like last week. But we didn't get that. But TNA was a pretty good show, and I gave it 7 out of 10 stars. And that too. And we move on. Alright. So we are done with that. Now, we're going to get to Ring of Honor Wrestling for this week. Which is alright. We saw the little Maryland tapings before we go back to, I believe we're going back to WJCT Studios in Jacksonville, Florida. But we're starting the Maryland tapings from Supercard. So we are emanating from the Wiki Miko Youth and Civic Center in Salisbury, Maryland. Yep. And as always, our commentary team, the boring man himself, Ian Wicked Boring, and my good buddy, the Pasta, Caprice Coleman. He's a good man. Unlike Wicked Boring, but I digress. Alright, so we're coming out of Supercard. Bandito and Athena still have their belts. Tag team titles are still not defended. 6-man tag team titles got, we have new champs in the Outrunners. And Dalton Castle. Red Velvet still are women's TV champion. Deanna Purrazzo still the women's pure champion. Lee Moriarty still the men's pure champion. We know A.R. Fox is the new, as he won it last week, from Nick fucking Wayne. So he's the new men's TV champion. And Athena continues her reign of terror for almost 1,260 days. Good Lord. Another month. It'll be 1,300. She's getting close to Roman territory, guys. The female Roman Reigns of Ring of Honor. That's what Athena is right now. So we move on with that. So now we're on some road into a big show. I don't know when it is, but when I find out, we'll find out. Alright, so we open with a quick preview of the show. Interesting. Haven't seen that before. And then we open with the theme and the opening sequence. And we get right to the action as always. A little less talk and a lot more action on my show. Or in Ring of Honor and wrestling, period. Alright, so we started with a pretty good match between Action Andretti and QT Marshall Not. And before the match, Action Andretti mocks the fans, says it started with QT Marshall. Okay. What did he do? So Andretti cuts off QT Marshall Not's introduction, and then he's like, "Give me some applause!" No, we don't give you this. But the thing is, Andretti used to be a dreamer like him, but then the fans started booing him. Reality is that Leo Rush turned on him, and now QT Marshall Not does all kinds of things just to get attention. Yeah. Okay. Actually, Andretti's going to embarrass QT like he embarrassed Leo Rush. Yeah. I was like, now I know Leo Rush is going to come out like Ghost of the Gazarian or some shit. Precious, But anyway, match was decent for almost 9 minutes. QT, he counted a springboard into a giddy kata, bang, and then he goes for a moonsault, missed. It was a nice moonsault, but he missed. Tornado DDT and a Torture Rack neckbreaker get the win for Action Andretti. That's it. So he gets the win over QT Marshall Not. Pretty good match, 3 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we go to the ladies. We got Hyann the Huntress and Maya World, who came, close again, but no cigar. In that Survival of the Fittest match, she was eliminated third to last. Pretty much second to last, really. As Athena pinned... she was eliminated last, I'm sorry. It was Billy Starks was eliminated before that. So, Athena beat Maya World to retain the belt. So, Hyann and Maya team up against Ali Catch and Kaya McKenna. We saw them on, we saw them on Collision, I think, last week. Anyway, that was what it was, 4.5-minute match. Getting to the end, Hyann the Huntress comes in to clean house after Maya was getting beat up for a little bit. She spears Kaya McKenna, pretty much out of her boots, sets up Around the World, which is a wheelbarrow slam / running down spiral combo, double team move by them, and they get the win on Kaya McKenna in 4.5 minutes. Match was 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we get the big man. Shane Taylor praises A.R. Fox for winning the TV title, but it's the wrong place, wrong time for him to win his first belt. And he says that he's getting his title back. He used to be one of the longest running TV champions in company history. He was a great TV champ. I forgot who beat him, though. What would have been if Keith Lee was still there? Remember when they first met? They used to be tag team partners, and they broke up. I think they had one match in Ring of Honor. Would have been nice if Shane Taylor had the TV title, and Keith Lee, before we kind of knew Keith Lee. The first match I seen was great. That match was great. Big hosses, big fat guys, beating the crap out of each other. Great. And then we move on. Now, let's see what happens with that, with Shane Taylor and A.R. Fox for the TV title. Let me move on. Alright, gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we go to the Tony Khan special of the week. 60 seconds match. We had Bruce takes on some guy named Ryan O'Neal, beat him in a minute with the bull's horns. And then after the match, he says, "You mess with the bull, they say! You'll get the hearts!" That's his usual thing. Comes out, has like a 30-second match, or minute match, maybe a minute and a half at most. Then just comes out, beats the guy up, says this catchphrase, and leaves. But he get paid. Gives us $500 and leaves. Or whatever he gets. Get some pesos after that. Whatever. Alright, moving on. Alright, so match, dud, 0. Moving on. Alright, then we're going to look at the Kingdom. We have Mike Bennett and I'm Matt Taven. They came back as Supercard. They confronted Buster and the Brain. The Buster and the Brain. One is a high flyer, the other's insane. Well, genius and the other's insane. That's what I meant. Not gonna wrestle him, but they confronted him. Okay. So maybe a tag team match from them. We'll see. Later on, but not later on in the show, but later on down the road. So, nice that the Kingdom are back in the tag team division, because we need some tag teams, Just like, speaking of tag teams, we got the premier athletes of Tony Nese and Ari Daivari. They take on Buster and the Brain, Alec Price, and my good buddy Jordan Oliver. Pretty decent match for under 10 minutes. Buster and the Brain, Alec Price, and Jordan Oliver, they get the win after they hit the Price is Right, which is their finisher, a top rope double stomp doomsday device. Ouch. Finishes off Tony Nese in under 10 minutes. Great match, 3 out of 5 stars. Give them the tag team titles already. I mean, seriously. Let them fight Sammy Guevara and Jalisco or Mortis, whoever. I think it's Mortis, basically, but we haven't seen the tag team titles in so long. That's pretty much it. Moving on. Another tag team might be going after those belts. Eddie Kingston and the Funky Monkey Ortiz. They sit down with Caprice Coleman. Oh, sorry. And Eddie's back to get better. He wants to see people prove they want it. Everyone wanted to come to Ring of Honor when he was breaking in early in the day. He wants that type of Ring of Honor back. I do too, Eddie. But as for Ortiz, they're friends, business partners in former LAX. Eddie says, I get to pay off my home, and I get to have YouTube with no commercials. Lucky bastard. Because you got YouTube Premium right there, Eddie. Anyway, Caprice asks Ortiz what Eddie Kingston isn't telling them, which is apparently that they want to change the wrestling business. Kind of like SCU. So Eddie thinks this place is better than the AEW locker room. Really now. Okay? They want to make things better. Why don't you just go back to AEW and you're just saying that, oh, you know, locker room sucks in AEW, so why don't you just go there and make it better yourself? Okay, Eddie. We'll go with that. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get to the new Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, Dalton Castle and the Outrunners. Turbo Floyd and Troop Madam still follow me on Twitter, and also the Peacock, Dalton Castle. They're happy about winning the tag team belts, and they're ready to face everyone. Alright, so they're in our next match, taking on, well, 3 Hammonagers, Danny Grandview, Chulo Montana, and Yikes? I don't know how I say his name. Ykies. Yikes? Yikes! Zoink! No, not Zoink. Shut up, Shaggy. Shaggy, would you give me that? Anyway, this is a non-title proving ground match. Lasted under 3 minutes. Did I say under 3 minutes? And bing, bang, boom. Dalton Castle and the Outrunners get the win after Dalton follows off the suplexes of Doom. Bangarang says that the Mega Powers elbow brother axe handle from the top rope. Oh yeah, hit that on Yikes or whatever his name is. Yikes. Yuki? No. They get the win under 3 minutes. That's it. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, we move on to AR Fox, the TV champ. Ready to face Shane Taylor, who says, you didn't even have to, you didn't have to say all that. You just had to ask. Yeah. He asked for a title shot. He didn't have to, be all menacing and everything. He just says, I want my title shot. And then AR Fox all you gotta do is just ask. What? What are we missing? Are you, essay? Are you loco essay? Insane in the membrane, Insane in the brain. Pretty much, AR Fox. Are you insane in the membrane? Let's see. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that. Moving on. Then we see, I don't know why we got this, but we saw him winning the belt last week. We should have got that before. Reverse the segment there, dude. There, Tony Khan. Moving on. Alright, we get that. 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get to Leo Rush. Take on Aaron Solo Miboki. Leo in his Goes of the Gazarian gimmick. Dark side, or dark, whatever it is. Take on Aaron Solo. He gets the win after a suicide dive, and then he hits Black Thunder. Interesting name for a finisher. Gets the win. And pretty much it. 2.25 out of 5 stars. After the match, Leo Rush actually talks. He sounds like he has something to... Actually, he was about to say something about someone being strong and promising to reign supreme. What? Okay. Weird. We'll move on. Alright, after that, Deonna Purrazzo, the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Champion. She's proud of beating Diamante to retain her title. Now she's looking for her next challenger. Well, her next challenger is Kanae Kai. We saw her a couple times on Ring of Honor in the last week or two. She gets a non-title Proving Grounds Pure Rules match. That's a mouthful, that's what she said. But, it was alright. Lots of sleeper holds, stuff like that. Deonna grabbed the Fujiwara armbar, gets actually reversed instead of using a rope break. That got reversed into a fruit roll-up for a near fall. And that's good enough for Deonna, who knocks Kanae Kai down, grabs the Fujiwara armbar, and tap out. 7 minutes exactly. So no rope breaks, none of that. It's just a pure wrestling clinic, basically. So Deanna gets the win. Match was alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we get a video on Swerve and Bandito. Let's see what's going to happen with that. Probably go for the Ring of Honor title, and that's that. Moving on. Actually, they're going to be in the... I think they're in the Owen Hart Cup, I forget. Whatever. We move on. Alright, then we go to a women's tag team match. We got my girl Billy Starks and Diamante, the other two minions of Athena. They take on the one and only Queen Aminata and my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife. Well, she's going to be taking on Athena at Double or Nothing, and that's Mina Shirakawa. It's a pretty good match for these four ladies. Under 9 minutes. We're getting to the end. Figure 4, we got stereo figure 4s that get reversed into small packages for near falls. Mina comes right back with a figure 4 on Billy Starks, and then Diamante, well, kind of doesn't make the save, and Queen Aminata knocked her out of the way anyway, and then Billy tapped out. That hurts. I know it's two of my girls in the match, but come on. Anyway, alright, so Mina and Queen Aminata get the win, and they could go for the tag team belts, the women's tag team belts on AEW. You never know. We'll move on. Alright, so under 9 minute match, it was alright, 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that's it. And then after the match, directly after the match, Athena just shows up, chokes out Mina with of all things, a towel. And then Queen Aminata cuts that off, but then pretty much the minions of Doom go in the back. Actually, they beat up Queen Aminata, and they beat them both down anyway. So Queen Aminata cut it off, but then Diamante and Billy Starks took her out, and they also took out Mina as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe a 6-person tag next week. They could get another person. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we go to your main event of Ring of Honor TV. Speaking of the TV title, we got the TV title on the line. AR Fox takes on Shane Taylor with the wrestler Shane Taylor Promotions at ringside. Carly Bravo and the captain Sean Dean, Christiane XO, Trisha Dora I think was out there as well. This was a pretty good match for 9 minutes. We're getting to the end. Shane Taylor goes for the Marcus Garvey driver, gets countered into a Giddy Casa Bang. And then AR Fox with a flippy dippity-doo on the big man, while kicking Anthony, wake me up before you a go-go. I forgot he was in the group too. How can I forget that? It's like the missing link. Anyway, so he kicks Anthony a go-go at the same time with a dive. Interesting. And then he gets back in the ring. He goes up top, hits the 450 on Shane Taylor. 1, 2, 3 to retain the Ring of Honor TV title in a smidge over 9 minutes. Good match though. 3 out of 5 stars. And that's it for Ring of Honor Wrestling this week. So, pretty good shows. And I gave both shows actually 7 out of 10 stars. I thought Ring of Honor was actually a little bit good this week. Not great like last week's show, but this week was a little bit better. So, I'm going to bump it up to 7 out of 10 stars. And also TNA, 7 out of 10 stars as well. But let me know what you guys think of the shows. Excuse me. In the comment section below. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. So, we will talk about it maybe later. Alright guys, I am out of here. I do have to run out. Me and the missus are going to a birthday party for one of our friends. It's happy birthday to him. We're going to have some fun. Somewhere in the city. But it's not a long party. We're not going to be out all night. So we're just going to go to the party. It's not now. We're getting ready to get out of here. So I'm getting out of here pretty soon. But we will be back. I'll be back. Well, we'll both be back, obviously, but in the house, in Casa del Joseph. But I will be back here on YouTube a little bit later tonight with your NXT review over on my Peter Joseph channel. We'll talk about SmackDown tomorrow, because that's going to lean into Saturday's event predictions. We'll talk about AEW probably after Saturday's event. Get you ready for Sunday with my Double or Nothing predictions. I'll do Dynamite tomorrow. Dynamite and Collision, that 3-hour show. We'll do that tomorrow. And then Sunday, Sunday afternoon, predictions for Double or Nothing. We'll talk about Saturday's main event as well. And then get you ready for Double or Nothing. We'll talk about Double or Nothing on Monday afternoon, on Memorial Day. Maybe a vlog, I don't know. We'll see what happens on Monday, but lots of stuff coming away this weekend. So please hit that bell on all my channels so you don't miss anything. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. Now! I'm talking about now. Do it now. Everything I'm telling you right now is going to happen right now. What happened then? You missed it. It's going to be... When would it be now? Soon. That's that. So, we move on. Alright, guys. I am out of here. Thanks for watching. Once again, here on the Kill Demons channel. I'm Peter Joseph signing off. Peace out. Rock on and rock hard with your Kokute. And if you're not down with that, well, me and the Prophecy, we got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. And that's pretty much it. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, be well. And until next time, my friends. Peace.